on the YouTube on this Saturday. Hope y'all doing all right. Coming to you live today. Coming to you live today. See what we got. We're gonna get this stream going. Just coming to you live. Coming to you live. See how you doing. How you doing. Bringing it to you live today. See how you feeling. All right inside. Let's get this question up for today. Let's see. All right. Just coming on. I don't know when I'm gonna get it. I'm just starting it out. What's up? How you doing, T Dub? What's up? Thank you for taking the poll and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just jumping in right now. Glad to have you on board today. What's happening? Big game for you tomorrow. Big game. Rest in peace to your rat Leah. And I'm not the biggest fan of those particular animals, but rest in peace to your pet. Rest in peace. Anyway, T Dub, what's going on? See what's happening. Tie. Okay. What's happening? Anybody coming through? We can talk today. It's a lot to take in. The more reactions I get, the longer I will be on today. And so pushing for a couple hours if people come and show up. If they do, we will be on. If they don't, I'm going to cut it to an hour. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what we have. I'm back now. Need some comments and let's get it going. Where'd you go, Tedrick? I know you like to talk. You're a Minnesota Viking fan. You gotta come on here and talk. Anybody want to come through, want to talk? Let's do it. Please continue to hit the likes and the shares and welcome donations. And let me go put some stuff up here too, if it's meant to be. I just have to put it down. comes in. Seems to be kind of quiet so far, so nobody's coming back. I don't know. This might not be a long stream if this is the case. We shall see. We shall see what it all means. I will be here. We're asking this question because Jimmy Butler just got a 7-game suspension with the Miami Heat. And what does it mean? I think it's very petty. I think it's bad look for all parties involved. I don't think that neither one comes back from this looking good. Hurts Jimmy Butler because he's an older player, and no one's gonna give him no extension behind a bad look at this stage because he's not really as productive as he was. And who's to say he can't pull a stunt like this again at this stage? And for Pat Riley, it's a bad look because they're not attracting the kind of talent they need, and this ain't gonna be a good look going forward. So both sides look kind of janky to me. But tell me what you think, though. So far, the only vote is saying Jimmy Butler. But anyway, I am live and in living color right now. Live, live, live. Let's see what we got. This could be one of them days where I might have to close shop early. We'll see. Give people a chance to come through. I'm gonna give it a benefit of the doubt. We're gonna see what we're working with. Could just be that it's kind of early or kind of in between. So we're gonna see how it all, how it all shapes up. See some people coming through. So we're gonna see what it means. In the meantime, in between time, hope everybody's doing well out there. Hoping that you're having a safe, extended, that you enjoyed your holidays. For some people, back to work on Monday. For some people, taking care of things, going through things. The start of the new year means bills, taxes, and getting on with the next chapters of another year and agendas, etc. So, curious what it all means, what it all details. Very curious. So, feel free to conversate if you can. And we're going to take it all in. You know, some days are slower than others, some days are busier than others. It all depends on what we're dealing with. Um, some people aren't getting their notifications, some are. Well, I did see I was coming out live today, and I would be doing it. Probably after today, I'll probably either come Monday or Tuesday. I'm not gonna be on tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of the NFL season, so I'll have a full wrap about it. What's up? Oh, look at you with your little Ohio State banter. Look at you. Here you come with your Ohio State logo. Dug that one up on dusted that one. Now you want to rep. I don't blame you. Got a chance. Got a chance. What's up? Everybody coming through. Feel free to hit that poll question too. And when you hit them likes too, I want to get people's feedback on the latest. Because I sat there and watched this mess play out. And it has been a bad joke. Um, Nothing more than I hate. And you're very lucky if you don't see your team quitting on. I don't think he quit on the Knicks. I think that he couldn't win there. They never got the right pieces. That's the bottom line. They lost to Houston, I mean, and you can't really find fault with him because they got to the finals. He gave to John Starks. They just lost to the Rockets. That's all. If he wins, he looks like a genius. If he loses, he did pretty good there. They did get to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 straight years with him, man. They got to the finals. They just didn't win. Can't say he didn't do his job in New York. Can't say that. Can't say that. You know. I think the thing with Jimmy Butler though is embarrassing though. I am going to say that, and they both wrong. You can call him senile, but I think Jimmy Butler is arrogant too. I think they both wrong. I think it's a bad look on both sides. And the ironic thing is, Jimmy Butler would have been a Pat Riley kind of player. I loved it, and I did too. I loved it because he was right. He was right. He was right. Spot on. Spot on. You ain't gonna come in there and do something that the others haven't done. Frank Vogel did get a championship, and they ran his butt out of there, and he was 3 times the coach. It's only overrated to you now because it wasn't overrated when they got to those finals. The last two. What's happening? It wasn't overrated when they got to the finals. It's overrated now because they have no identity. Because now they got to shoot jack threes like everybody else. And the truth of the matter is this: they hung on to Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson longer than they would have had they had the pieces in place. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. And he didn't. He waited too late. That's the only reason why Allen, when he says he's seen now, got a point. Because why did he wait to diss that man last summer and just now as we getting up on All Star break, he wants to play all tough? He been balling, but he ain't an alpha. Okay, I can tell you that as a Heat fan. I like Tyler, but he ain't lovable. He good. He ain't the answer. They need someone who can put him in place and bam, and then he's scary. He ain't that dude. I wish he was. He ain't. He can ball, but then he can also crawl. And see, he can be streaky. You need consistency. His defense is suspect. He's dangerous when the pressure ain't on him because net with Bam and Jimmy acting at odds, he looked good. And he can have a moment, but they're not a winnable team. That's not he ain't he ain't gonna be the dude that's gonna lift them. They need that alpha. That's their problem. And I don't know where Pat Riley gonna get that kind of player. I just don't. And this whole thing with Jimmy Butler then played out so bad that nobody's gonna want to come and do business with them because Jimmy Butler sucked them dry in a way. He been on the downside after that last finals against the Nuggets. He been on the downside. It's 2 years into it, and he then went from being a guy that play a certain way. He got into it with Spo a couple years ago, so he didn't definitely put himself in rears. I think he overachieved by getting to the finals, but he wears his welcome out. I know in the back of my mind, Tibbs wouldn't mind bringing him to the Knicks, but he'd only have him from a short term. Those ain't no rumors. Those are options. The problem is who can afford and who wants to deal with them two headaches. That's not rumors. That's why I told you Bradley Beal was hilarious when he was going on if he played healthy. It don't work. Because Booker and KD are kind of the same person, except KD's a better version of Book. But they're kind of the same that they need an alpha to carry them. And the problem is neither one of them is effective with what they are. What you mean a question mark about the Knicks? I said Tibbs wouldn't mind bringing him if he could off the bench. He would. He would be perfect to come as a pit bull off the bench. A pit bull. Not to start, but Jimmy in the second unit, give Cat and them a blow and play the defense. That'd be the kind of dude that would make Tibbs is gonna do a D'Antoni 8-man rotate. That would be your mate. That's all you would need. Play bullpen role. Turn into Lee Smith, be the bullpen closer. That's all he'd have to do. Go somewhere with a team that's already stacked and just come in with the second unit. Play the pit bull bullpen role. That's a quick way to be effective into a chip. But it has to be the right situation. Can't be nothing that's volatile because no one's gonna put no money on no Jimmy Butler. There ain't no money for him. You need to rebuild, but what you gonna load with? I know what Boozer wants for Phoenix. He wants a young running gun team. Booker don't run and gun like that. He's ineffective. He leads as a point position player. Bradley Beal too injury prone, and Nurk is too soft in the kicks in the glass. They need a lot of instant offense, and it look they look fraudulent. I already called it. They look very fraudulent. Ain't nothing gonna happen there. But nobody wants nothing that Phoenix got to offer. So, all right, come on now. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. We got some people in here. 80% saying Pat Riley. That's okay. That's interesting. Good. Thank you. Cause it hit me hard last night. You know, as a Heat fan, have to hear what Charles, Shaq, and Kenny said about Butler and watch that, and then I watched the what he said, and then I saw the reaction with the 7 game suspension, and then I thought, man, you know what? This is just, whew, this is not a good way to start your year. And I did not have any expectations for the Heat this year. I already told Ted and others that anywhere from 5 and below is what I expected. I don't lie about my teams. And barring some crazy catastrophe where teams get hurt or an injury, they were not fit to be more than a playing tournament. Maybe they get a first round. Maybe that's it. That's it. They're not good enough to do much of nothing. Because when Spo called that timeout when he really didn't have a timeout, that's pretty much the season right there. Blown before it started. Yeah, there'll be some there'll be some teams, but they're not. They're just going through the motions. They're not nowhere near where they need to be. They're nowhere near where they need to be, and it's just a reality. But there are a lot of teams like that though. You know, and there's 3 teams in the East and 2 teams in the West, maybe, and that's it. Everybody else is just playing for the other slots, and they should know it by now. Yeah, I did the video about it. I think it robs the fans. I hope nobody ain't spend no money for that mess. They shouldn't even go to the game. They should boycott, but they won't. But I'd boycott. I wouldn't even go up in that stadium. That's exactly why the NFL is so fraudulent in that regard. They charge you and want more games and all that, and then when you get a chance to see something, they pull out. I'm like, you're not doing the fans and the sponsors. No, no one wants to watch that mess. Then it's an insult. It's a slap in the face. We always talk about how we might be upset about some Ruckus, and you get a chance to see Ruckus be broke, and then you don't do it. It is. It cheats the whole public out. They shouldn't even have the game. They should just go ahead and boycott the game. Because to me, it's an insult. It's an insult. It's not even worth watching. It's a deplorable action, and I have a problem with the league for doing it. Now you get a scenario because you created more games and more, and now when you got it pointed, now you want to get all safe and concerned. That's an insult. Of course it is because you know what that means. If you get him where he wants to go, he gonna buy you a new Fitbit. He gonna buy you something. Or he ain't leaving town without hooking you up with a dinner or or something in your stocking, to hook you up. He'll be playing Santa Claus for you for a minute. And I also think it's an insult that it didn't happen to him because I think he could have been a legit league MVP. Getting 2,000 yards should put you in the top 2 to 3 MVP consideration anyway, let alone if you break the record. And his team is one of the top tier teams too. It's just an insult. It's an insult. So I'm gonna go on record and say something and ain't gonna be nice, but I'm gonna say it now. I hope the Eagles don't do nothing in the postseason. Yeah, and I don't even like the thought of him dance about it because even though I liked Eric Dixon, I thought it was just crybabish. I mean, come on, man. They got an extra game. You had an extra game, and for it to not be broken is an insult. I lost some respect for the Philadelphia Eagles behind this, and the NFL too. You have extra games, and you set records to be broken, and you don't play a guy. Come on, that's a diss. That's something that's just a diss. Don't even you can't do nothing for that. There was people who paid money for that game, so and I might do a video about it after I get to doing this one. What hot take? What's the hot take? My hot take about it is that I'm mad with the Eagles and the NFL. That's my hot take. They didn't hustle the fans out. You get a chance to see history be made, and you don't deliver. You took their money. That's not a hot take. That's just the facts. Okay. Yeah, I do. Because if Jalen Hurt gets hurt in the playoffs or Jack Sack'em, you had a chance to really send a message, and you could have done something special and memorable on top of what you got. Now I ain't got no love for them. If they lose in the playoffs, good. You think Dan Campbell and the Lions would shortchange the fans? Do you think they would? Yeah, Nick Salami's a buster. He sucks. No good and well. His behind don't get Saquon Barkley, and they don't play like this. They fool around, and he probably get fired because they quit on him last year. You think I forgot when they were 10-1, and all of a sudden they just and then they got beat by Tampa in the player. You think I forgot about Nick Salami? You know his butt hanging by a string. He always getting out coached, always out thought. He's a joke. That's why I thought that if Belichick hadn't burned so many bridges, that could have been a possibility too. Don't think that they ain't watching him. Siliani. He is a silly dude. Siliani. Do some stupid stuff. And I'm telling you, ain't out the woods yet. Ain't out the woods yet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because they got too much talent to underachieve. And remember, I was telling Ted, I said, look, Frisco aside, Philly was the second best on talent in the NFC. So his butt should be on the hot seat too. Because he ain't that far from Kyle Shenanigans and Siliani. They about neck and neck. They about dumb and dumber. They fool around and choke again with a top tier quarterback who don't get no love, who was an MVP consideration. They act like Jalen Hurts stinks or something. Playing Jalen Hurts like he's a mark, and you got that defense. Well, that's okay. That I understand, because Josh Allen, you know, I understand that. And they're playing New England, and you know what? You should rest your starters when you play New England any time of the year. You don't really have to. You're gonna be because New England. Come on now, come on now. We know the Patriots. If they crack more than 17 points, come on now. He ain't gonna be canceled. But what I think is that because I did a video and I said the real situation then coming after him is because it does imply that the Caitlin Clark turned down the MAGA. And since she ain't the critics' darling anymore and ain't all lovey dovey with her, and they're gonna put her and Angel Reese kind of the same mix to an extent, even though they really not, they're not gonna let him talk all reckless. Now all of a sudden they care about what he says. Since when they care about what he says? No, what happened with him is because money. They want to make some money off Angel Reese. That's all that is about. Oh yeah, he bought and he's a plant. Not even just that, he's a plant. And a plant goes beyond being a dancer. See, see, when you a plant, that's just part of it. That's like AEIOU and sometimes why. There's no sometimes. It's all the above. A plant, a shuffle plant, and that means he's got carte blanche until he does something stupid. Until he get caught on it, and his money get funny, or he says something dumb, and then they done with him. But he's a plant, and that's way worse. That's even more extreme than a buck. Oh yeah. Well, culture bandits are different plants. They're different than brother plants. Culture vulture plants get put in a position like like they're doing news reporting, like they're investigating underground, like they somehow seen as cool. That's a different type of plant. And usually when it's a non-black plant, they usually are below average talent. Think about it. Oh yeah. But his thing is that uh he mad because some people called him out for his foolishness and his jive, and they know he's jive, and he ain't got no talent. So that's why it's up. That's the ones That's the non-black ones. Now, if you're a no talented black person that's a plant and you shuffling, that's because you are on somebody's plantation and they got access to you, i.e., Diddy. That's a whole different. See, they come in different variables. But you non-black and you a plant, that's got more to do that you got an invitation and you got hooked up. You got a pass because some turkey said, yeah, he cool, he good. No one knows what he do. No one didn't watch none of his whack movies or listen to his whack music or paid him no mind in like 25 years. But he got this lifelong pass for what I don't even know. Uh, drop 10 years off that 2012. Try more like '02 because I was around. And I remember his movies in the '90s, Tribe Called Quest, and all that mess. And I higher learning. So if you say about 2002, I'll give you that. Anything after that, that's just some turkeys that was kind of like Bill Maher like, and he was never Bill Maher like, but that's what that's about. He was '90s, early '00s. But for people who were in on the stench of him, they were done with him after '97. Just saying. I ain't got nothing to do with him because I don't be messing with Z list plants. I'm sorry. Plants start with a P, doesn't end with a Z. I don't met STW, WZ. I don't, but that's what he is. I already know. I already know. But Charleston, he got to be reckless. I think somebody trying to shake his pockets. Yeah, yeah. He had a little bit of love up until about the Saturday Night Live era. I want to say till about '09. But but you got to take it back. You got to take the '06 off. His pop love was then, but the barbecue era was up to '04. After Janet, a lot of folks in the neighborhood cooled off on him. So I want to say with Timberlake, he got some love from '00 to about '04. But after that Janet Jackson thing, it cooled off. Yeah, but he wasn't the only one. Chris Kirkpatrick had even more than him because Kirkpatrick had the braids, had the thing. Timberlake was late on the party. J.C. Chazé was the one that was trying to be down, and then Chris Kirkpatrick, and they all were doing it, but Timberlake was like the last as far as getting it on the roll until he got his hair did his had his Shirley Temple curls. When he started doing that, they worked him. Chris Kirkpatrick and in sync. He was the one that had the nose ring. Chris Kirkpatrick, because he had the braid. He was the one that was in sync. You have to look at him. Now Joey Fatone was the big boy who did the announcing on Family Feud. So Joey was in My Big Fat Greek Wedding and all that other. But Chris Kirkpatrick was the one. He would always kind of like be right next to Timberlake in the pictures. You had to look him up. He was in sync. J.C. Charles A had the better voice, but they didn't promote him. I remember them turkeys like left to right. And of course, everybody knows about Lance Bass, though, because I saw that corny movie he was in. I remember that mess. I had a slow night. Yeah, and he did Rockstar with R. Kelly and Ludacris. He did that one in '08. He got over, even though most people were more into him in the '90s to like the early '00s, though. I didn't really pay him a whole lot of mind, though. But he got his base, though. Somebody like that turkey, though. He wasn't my cup of tea, though. But he didn't show his true colors like it ain't nobody's business the last decade and change. And that's where Post Malone is going to next. Even though I didn't hear a lot of people slurping Kid Rock. What's up? What's up, Will? How you living? I never invited her. I listened to her and I like some of the stuff she said, but I didn't, again. See, Everybody cool until you start talking about reparations. Everybody cool and start talking about y'all get up, y'all throw something in the corn plate. That's when it flips. Up until you start talking about that money and equality, they ain't all cool. Most of them. Yes, I love it. We're gonna bring this forth, and you can name a whole lot of people. So keep it going. He's good. He ain't no better than no Shaq. How good is his team's record? Are they a threat to go to the finals? Are they gonna come out the West? No. Is he as good as Jokic? They beat them last night. But if they played a 7 game series, Denver's gonna beat them, and they're gonna figure out how to sag on him. Now I will say this: he's an outside shooter, so he shoots threes. So yeah, but is he dominant? Yeah, he puts up good numbers. But the Spurs are not a title contender. Shaq and Orlando were in the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, went to the finals. His freaking what, third year? Wimby ain't look. Let's see what he do in the postseason. That's how I'm gonna tell Turkeys this. Let's see what his team does. I think M was straight from '98 to about 03. He could almost do no wrong for that. But then after that, and that whole Michael Jackson with the video and all that mess, it kind of went down. You can't compare the two. And he was more dominant. And on top of that, he had someone like Penny, and they had a style. The Spurs don't have a guard player yet. Now CP3 is 68, but he can't possibly do enough for Wimby. He can help him a bit, but they need some fresh. They need another shooter. You know, I'm gonna tell you this though, Jay Will. You can get your De'Aaron Fox over there to Victor Wimby in the next year or two. Get back to me. You can get one of them cats off of a Cleveland. That's a good one to you. And that trash, I can't stand that turkey. It was brief. Some do. Some do. You know, he was cool with BB King, but his double talk, I can't stand him. He overrated, overhyped. Baby facing him, I know, changed the world. I like that. But most of his stuff sounds like beer commercials from 50 years ago. I can't stand that turkey. I know what he's about. And every time he says one thing, he just got through hanging out with Governor Abbott in Texas, and you know what Abbott's about. And he always talks that talk like he just so no. Really, cause he get high. People always, if you a bud head, they tend to just take you like you cool, cause you running against the law. That's why Willie got the pass. Willie got a pass cause he was a bud head, and he didn't come across like all those other good old boys. Even though he's a good old boy though. Yeah, this is a good one, T. There's a lot of people we could talk about. A lot. I know. I read about it. Him and I forgot who it was. I read about that, and they did. Charlie had to take that to make it to the Grand Ole Opry. That's the sad reality. People don't understand it went that long ago. But has country really changed the outlook? Nope. Because this whole stank with Beyonce alone. Saying she ain't real country or she's all that. That don't make no difference. Yeah, all of yours pop music. Because you're not doing authentic country music no way. You got hip hop beats and grooves in your music now. And you're in top 40. Whatever's going for radio today or crossover, you're doing it. So miss me with all that mess. Because Matthew Walton and all them others is big on pop charts. Not in a small town. Big on the pop charts. So y'all ain't Billy Bob all by yourself with nobody and twanging in the whiskey bottle. Stop all that nonsense. All right, now keep on coming with some more. I see a few people on here. I know it's not as many today, but let's get into some conversation. Let's keep it going. She's still sadly gets some pass. She's still sadly around, even though she's probably the worst example of them all because there's this thing that she need when she needs hood credibility, she goes back to J Lo. That's the sad part, and I'm more mad with her than anybody. So Jay Will, you ain't gotta preach to me, you gotta preach to other people. Cause David Robinson took that personal. And you gotta remember something with Shaq. He was making history as a kid. When Victor Wemby can elevate his team and got all that, don't listen to them. Just bring the facts. He still got some invitation. He still did. He still got an invitation for some. He's a slickster if they ever came. Good used car salesman. They loved him. You know, he was entertaining for what he was. He was in, and he taught Trump a lot. That's what the Trumpikins don't get. A lot of what he does come from the Bill Clinton way. They just don't really understand it. And I ain't here to always gotta explain it. Well, his daddy and them. I know he married Paula Patton. And he got another Paula Patton. Junior Whopper is his wife now. Well, he get drunk, he'll say anything. You know. I don't pay that turkey no mind on. He been on that Mass Singer. Cause that last record he put out after Paula left him, the Paula album, that thing went glad bag, you know. Probably did. She probably called him a name too. You know, no one talks about Robin. He tried hard to be down. Hey, hey. Cause he had to pay all that money for blurred lines, him and for real. Sure, he used a lot of words when they had to get off that money for blurred lines. Cause his career was never the same after that. He was a pompous cat who got privileged. You know, his dad set him up. Yeah, Gary Owen tried too hard. He tried too hard. You know, he tried real hard, really hard. Who's an alright comedian on some days, but it's a one trick pony. Yeah, you're on a real tear when you beat up on Portland and Atlanta. Yeah, what happened against Cleveland? Stat padding look good, don't it? I'm not impressed. Not impressed. What am I supposed to say? The Sixers suck. You're the only one that runs around here wants some justification to try to get hype. You suck. Your year is over. Y'all should consider making some trades and get ready for next year already. Yeah, because Steph didn't miss no threes on y'all. And with the black mask on, tore your behind up. Not surprised. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Yo, should consider letting Paul George go. Phil's real prime was like, if you're gonna be that way, was the '90s to about probably about I don't know early 2000. But after what he said about Phil Allen Iverson's outfit, all that stuff, I looked at him. I've been done with Phil years ago. He's a mental motivator. He gets stuff out you, but there's a lot of head games with him. I expect most of them coaches and cats got racial resentments because they have to. That's how they make their bread and butter off of black players and labor. That's how I look at it. It's a fact, and it's a reality. You know, but what these cats say, what they do, hmm, it is real. My people be very shocked or surprised, but it's business, It's business. He never really had. He always had an agenda. I was Alan now because I was done with Dicker back in the late '90s, early '00s when he said that. he was around Walter Payton and he never knew anything about racism or some mess like that. And I'm like, how ignorant do you sound? I said, he went to a historically black college university. Of course, you ain't, I never braided no dick up for nothing. He was a meathead all along. That whole broke Millie Vanilli dread mess he had on his head when they got Ricky Williams in New Orleans was embarrassing. He just was a bad joke, bad gimmick. Well, when Ohio State, because he came out of witness protection program, because Ohio State, Jerry Jones was never invited. Since when? 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 What did he ever do to get the invitation except hire black players on his team? What did he ever do? Where's his black head coach at? Where's his black general manager at? Please tell me. I want to know. He got one black coach on the main on the roster, but please tell me, not the most progressive cat. So when was he invited to the cookout? Now, if you said Robert Kraft, I'll give you that. Y'all, so there's about probably about 4 or 5 NFL owners I'll mention before Jerry Jones' name would come up. Oh, because he took that fake knee with the players. Is that the one? Come on now. He's not the most progressive minded cat. The anytime you use the late Denny Green phone call, do you want to get hired or not? PR back in 2002. No, nothing for Jerry Jones. I know that's hilarious. And no one talked about Jerry Jones like that. You mentioned Robert Kraft. I'll give you that. He did what? The Denny Green thing? Did you hear about the Denny Green thing? The Denny Green, yeah, yeah, we gotta do this Rooney law. Yeah, you want the job? They called him on the phone. Never was no face to face. It was a strictly phone call. Click. That's all it was. Everybody know what Jerry Jones is about and what he is. Okay. Just because y'all like Stephen A. Smith who gets pat on the head and get a little cookie and be happy. Everybody know what Jerry Jones is about. Okay? I don't want that man to be gone and all of a sudden people say, "Yeah, I always knew." Well, I'm like, yeah, I ain't trying to hear all that. Y'all know what he's about. Shoot, stop lying to people. Tell the truth for a change. I can't think of no owners that I would mess with that that ding dong bob head freak because of his talent, not because of him. Personality, what he's got actually he's funnier than what's his butt than Rappaport. If Michael Rappaport had some personality, he'd be Peyton Manning. Because Peyton Manning could probably do a spoof on him straight up. Brady still gets invited, even though it's low key. I don't know. Peyton, Eli got a better chance of getting in. Peyton's got more of the name brand, but Eli would probably get in more. Because Eli look like he talks some trash of the two. They still like Brady. Even though Brady is suspect, though. They still like him, though. I think Peyton would still kind of get through the side, though. Even though I'm suspect, too. As long as you don't mention no obvious names that were ever invited, and I will tell you, there are names that are not were never really on the invitation list that were big time players. So Breezy, if he had have been cool, would have been like Chris Brown's white uncle. And they said Breezy Unc, but he messed up. Yeah, cause he shoots the ball too much. Cause that's what he does, and he's a stat pattern. That's the only problem I had with a loudcast. I got a LeBron Stannery who always likes to throw every accomplishment this turkey does. Next, you gonna tell me no one ever clapped their hands. He's clapped his hands the most all time before the start of a game than any other player. It's always something. No, he ain't get no invite because I thought the whole thing about his uncles and grandfather and the cap thing, they folks done cooled out on him. They got him. He would have been a nice state representative. He messed up, so they'll probably throw him back for a couple years. I do think somebody will come along and get the 30-point games record if LeBron retires in the next couple of years. I think somebody will get it, but it's really not that deep. Never by nobody I know. There's some names that you just gonna get the nobody I know. Unless he knows how to sweet talk some a granny, he probably could. I give Rex that because he definitely got a gift of gab on him. He can talk. It don't work it don't work usually long term on the football in the locker room, but it work. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's probably what he do. Oh yeah, cause he got that down home. He like to eat, so he know how to talk. He could definitely get him some ribs and some beans and some oak. Get some oh yeah, he could get some iced tea. He know how to talk. One thing about them Ryans, they know how to talk. Granny all the way. Hey, look, hey, he might could pull a Bella cheat. Might pull him a snatch on a college girl. Hey, you never know. Cause Rex know how to talk. Rex can talk. He's number one on my list. They got the best record, best team in the West. He number one. He number one. And I don't want to hear nobody else say nothing else. I know Jokic is the best player, but SGA. Hey, probably good. Hey, look, be on TV, put them green eyes on her. Hey, you know I can pay you. Put that Rodney Dangerfield on. Hey, you know I can pay your way. You know, I might get another job. You know. Yeah, Rex can talk. His brother used to on the side throw that long hair around. Hey, them Ryans know how to talk. They don't win much, but they know how to talk. Oh yeah, he's my MVP. And they owed him one, so he should get it this year. And they gonna if they stay healthy and motivated, they going all the way. Pretty much. Oh yeah. Well, hey, look, don't be fooled. Ain't no cancel culture because they like sugar daddies. And Rex be putting that big old school wink on them like, you'll give it to him. Shh. Rex could talk. Rex 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 got some bass in him, and you know he'll get love. It wouldn't be surprised at all. I ain't. Hey, look, some cats can snatch at any age, any time. Ain't got nothing to do with your status. Yep. Well, that's like your boy Urban Myers said. Come sit on my lap. I'm coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars down the street. We gonna win 2 games. Come on over here. I ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing either. Come on over here. You know how I go. Mm-hmm. Cats that play that game know what to do. All you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Got a mouthpiece. You could look like a yeah. Well, and he earned it because his team. He earned it because of his rep. Ain't nobody say nothing. Nobody said nothing. Who did I see the other night? Cause it was UJ Wills talking about that Hornets Bulls game, and somebody dapped up Josh Giddey in the game. Ain't nobody say nothing. Ain't nobody thinking nothing. Nobody don't say nothing. No, she wasn't. The niece, the daughter was. They was them some thick chick. Even when she was messing with a cornball like Glenn Rice, I liked him as a basketball player. He a cornball. unless she was gonna be doing some posing. And she's thick, she bad, but corny, too corny, and we're bound to say something stupid, bound to say something dumb. Ain't no one thought about it though. I don't remember that. Bad though. How do I say this in English if I can? And I don't care if you get offended. Your body can come, but you can't come. But your body can come, but you can't come. That means you sit there and you posing and you ain't saying a lot and you look good, you can come. As long as you open your mouth, you're welcome to come. Glenn Rice was a cornball. I liked him as a player, but look, Sarah Palin like, oh, I used to go with Glenn Rice. Oh, that's corny. And, oh yeah, I'm gonna call Glenn Rice out because the Lakers, the real Lakers, back in 2000, when they won with Shaq MVP, Glenn Rice's wife was all on the screen making a big stink, and Phil was like, I ain't going for that. Yeah, that's why I call him a cornball. Wife messed up his run in LA. Messed it up. Glenn always done got some corny stuff. There's always a cornball. Yeah. I forgot what she did. It was something that went down. And next thing I know, he went on the squad the next year. I forgot where his behind went too. And he was corny too, because the other one, I remember when he had scored at least 10 points a game when he was with Charlotte against the Bulls, and the Bulls were winning by like 36 points, and Jordan was giving the rest, and he had like 8 points in the fourth quarter, and Dave Cowens, he said, let me get back in so I get my 10 points. He said, okay. And I'm like, you get your butt tore up by like 30 points, and you out there begging your coach to scale your get two more points so you can get your token 10, and Jordan and them then clocked your behind, and you up here got a crying with 8 minutes to go in the game to get two measly points. I'm like, that's cornball. So he a lot of cornball moments. That was probably that one, and that wife mess with the Lakers mess was the two most offensive. And of course messing with Sarah Palin. Bad body, but cornball. You know. He got around, but he did corny stuff though. He was cornball. Again, this is only for the live stream. It's not for the regular stream. So this will never come up on the regular video. It's not regular video worthy. And for anybody else, that's why you come to the live stream, because we do different takes and thoughts when we go live than we do when I go regular. Because when I go regular, regular videos are not like this. You watch my regular videos, you're not gonna get this kind of entertainment or this tidbit story. So don't even ask. You have to pay me. You will have to pay with donations to get it. Not by me, he wasn't. I never was into the Lethal Weapon was it was cool, but I was never into him. I never got it like that with him. He wasn't one of those cool white cats that I thought, oh, like he was a cool actor. I thought he was alright. I never got it. Cool white actors are like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. Those were cool. Costner even was cool. Who else can I say is cool? You know, Marlon Brando had certain coolness about him. I pick Mel Gibson like that. Swashbuckling. Never got it. Never quite got it. So that boat kind of same and went. All right, now keep on now. Y'all gotta keep on coming, talking. You know, let's make this count. Let's see what we got. Of course, we're working with. Feel free to hit those comments up, hit those likes, smash them up, smash them up. So we can get stuff jumping. It's kind of a slow day today, and I understand. Saturday, people kind of like doing their thing, but I'm here live and in color, and I'm hoping that we can make a discovery. Yeah, well, you know him and Whitney, bodyguard and all that. Oh, he was at the funeral. Remember the Whitney Houston funeral? He gave that speech. He still was carrying feelings for her. boxing was the, you know, it was cool. You get some cool points you get over if you're cool. You corny, you don't get in. So I'm just saying. Come on, Ted. I expect you to come with a lot more names. And we can debate if they invited or not. Come on now. I need y'all to lighten this board up. Light it up. And people keep on hitting that poll question. It's definitely cooled off. Let's see what people say. I gotta come on in here too. You know, sometime with this channel, I get 2 good hours before it goes kaboom. So come on in here and let's talk. And let's, of course, y'all just had a hangover last night. What about Walton? Mm, it's like we liked him, but I wouldn't say a cookout. Wouldn't say a cookout. Liked him though. Thought he could play, but he wasn't cool like that. Not like that. Aside for some, but he was granola cat. You gotta do better than that though. I'll help you out with the players if you want them. She only got invited because she was doing what I call the most stereotypical cliche things, and then people don't even know why they like her because of the hairdo. He was good at what he did. He replaced Grunk and he associated with Mahomes and he won. He ain't there no more though. He went AJ squared. But he in love now though. She got him wearing a bop. So I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you this. If you're a white NFL player, unless you're a quarterback, you gotta be really something distinctive to get in any other position. Just keep it 100. Since when? Well, she's got the Swifties got some love, some, but it's more in the Kool Aid section. It ain't that deep. And you know she don't sit down for no plate of no ribs. Have you seen her? She ain't eating them. She'll lick the sides of the sauce. She ain't gonna sit down. You know, they do it to be polite in her politicalness. I know because she went down with Kamala. Only because association with Snoop. Only reason. Only reason. And I know why you went there, but that's only because of Snoop. Wasn't because of Snoop. Do you really think that we'd even entertain that? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. She just strikes me as one of those kind of chicks that she was observing her brothers, and but she was, you know, I don't think that. Who would I like? You want to say the Vikings, and you know what? The funny story is every time I go against them, they win. They win. But Detroit looks like they want to prove something. It's gonna be tough to beat Detroit at home. I like the Lions to win by a field goal, but if the Vikings beat them, they'll beat them by 10. That's how I'll describe it. Colin was cool. And the thing about it is he take the invite, but he really wouldn't go up on the invite. So Carlin was cool. Rodney be welcome. Rodney be welcome. I ain't got no problem with Rodney getting in. Cause Rodney was hecka funny and he talked cash trash, excuse me. And I don't mind Rodney getting in. I like Rodney. Rodney was alright. Rodney was alright. never really felt that way about him. Never really felt that way about him. And I love his one-liners. And I always thought that he had the respect because he could hit you with quick wit. I ain't really thought about Al Bundy. I mean, I hadn't really thought about it. He wasn't exactly what I call a crossover inclusive type of cat. So when you ask me about certain white folk, they gotta have like not only just because how they are inviting inclusiveness, but also they have to be a hit behind a certain demographic. I hadn't really thought about Al Bundy like that. I might have to reinvestigate that one. I hadn't really thought about that. I hadn't really thought about that. You know, when you mention certain characters, they have to connect in a way that it's like, okay, I could see that. He would. As crazy as he is and all the antics and stuff, cats love Tom Cruise. And I knew a couple girls that did back in the day. He would have. Because you know why they like Tom Cruise? Because he was cool in his whiteness. It's exactly what I understood. I was watching Storm and Roll the other night, and he said something, but I already been and said this too. I do. I miss the days when people were unapologetically just white guys, white women, just unapologetic. Just do your whiteness. Don't try to dance and shuffle and do something else that you're not. Miss that. Miss that. Just do what you are. Be you. Hanks would get in, even though I think that it is kind of faded though. But he'd still get enough to get in because Forrest Gump, he had enough moments. Body wise, she get in back in the day. I don't know about because she was exactly what we call a warm-hearted figure. Bert, he had love in the community. He did have love. People did grow up on him and they did like him. That's there's some would still there's a strong 25-35% that would embrace him. 25-35 would. He had love. And I always said that to me, some of his career was like a black stuntman in a way. I couldn't put my finger on it. Only if you a diehard sports fan. Other than that, you think he was a used car salesman or somebody on Wall Street that you just like you sure in the right neighborhood. But his style would fit in. He definitely would fit in for his style and drip. But you have to be really know who he is though. I don't really think a lot of pro head coaches would get in. Oh heck yeah! Because I was watching the episode of what's happening when the Doobie Brothers played the high school. You gotta tell me why I'm your hero. Taking it to the street, trust me, free. You are the land I'm right where I wanna be. Trust me, free. Anytime you can sound cool singing through your nose and a mustache, you gonna get a hookup. You gonna get 3 plates. Cause Michael McDonald gonna get 3 plates full. And that's dessert included and a drink. Uh that's an interesting one. We still think he's one of us too. That fro, we still think he's one of us. We ain't so sure. He got love though. Oh yeah, him and the Supremes. It was Donald Ross, Fawn Sprout, and Mary Wilson. Yeah, yeah, Mary Wilson. So yeah, oh yeah, Tom Jones had love. Mm-hmm. And I think he one of us too. So mm. Now you naming some good ones, but yeah, Michael McDonald. You gonna tell me you're gonna minute behind me? Oh yeah, oh yeah. That mustache gave him some soul powers. He definitely get in. Good name. That's a good list right there. Somebody watching this right now, we're talking about if you white and you get invited to the cookout. And we're just doing this new segment, so you're welcome to participate. He's one of us, but he been downplaying it. See, he's one of us. The white side of him kept his butt from getting locked up. And if you know about the adoption and the situation about Stephen Tyler, then yeah, he always was real slick too, real slick. Back in the day, I know she's got a young boy toy boyfriend. And I see her on these videos out here right now. The old her, yeah, 83 to about 95, 96, yeah. She get in with some, but you have to be of a certain age and a certain time period to appreciate her though. The old her would have gotten in. Somebody would. Oh, alright, she been used it, but she messing with a young brother right now. If you don't know, look at her Instagram. She looking like a black version of Little Kim too, by the way. But she got a young brother. And her children. Madonna always wanted to be black. Tell her fan base that they'll look at you and get mad, but I already know. I know about Madonna Louise Chacone. Yeah, and she look like Lil Kim right now. The way Lil Kim look now, which ain't, she got a lot done. And she's done with the business pretty much. I mean, they didn't use everything up. She sold out. I had a lot of respect for her back in the day. Back in the day she would have. But when that whole thing with Columbus and she and she remember Columbus stomped the yard and they broke up. There was a time and a point. Yeah, and her sister too, but them good old girls, no, not no more. Back in the day. She used to be down. She had a brother. They all did. It's funny you mentioned some of these names because they all used to get down with some brothers, and then they got in the industry and they clean them up. They got the water hose out and clean that up off of them, and now they don't know nobody. They don't nobody no more. I'm like, well, who? They all Clive Davis on the brothers. I'm like, who? But make no mistake about it, Brittany and Pink was with some brothers back in the day. Unfortunately, his fake behind. I ain't never met no one who went to a club party who even knew a DJ Khaled set, let alone. But he's worse than Rappaport. He worse than them. The plant bandits that are non. To an extent, especially back in the day. An extent back in the day. Because he did get hooked up by black folk. He would be invited. He been authentic. He actually has kept his cool. What's up? I heard from you like an hour ago and you ain't come back. Where you been? You said what's up like an hour ago, and then you went off like Casper the Friendly Ghost. I want you come on here, ask some questions, hit them poll questions, and let's get to talking. Make it count. Casper, they might win tomorrow. They might win. You be really booing because they Sam Donald. I'm gonna tell you something. They get in the playoffs. Anything could go. Anything could go. All it takes is to get hot for a couple weeks and you in the Super Bowl. So hey, anything could go. Their defense is legit. I think people still got a question mark about Sam Donald. That's the problem. It's not there. It's not that team. That team got some talent there. Or if they beat Detroit, I like them by 10. I say Detroit wins this by 3, but if the Vikings win, I like them by 10. I think they can double them. He won't get it, but he should get more consideration. He should. Best they go and beat Detroit in the number one seed, because then that creates a problem for everything being biased towards Josh Allen. Because Sam Darnold, that would be huge. If they go in there and they win, yeah, you got a problem then. Who do you get MVP to? Then you might have to split it. And it would be hard not to give Sam Darnold that due. Some will. Back in the day, he would have, because it was predominant with the Steelers. I cringe though, because I just, he kind of fits in where he fits in. He kind of fits in where he fits in. Only if you're old school. And look, that's no knock on you. If you're of a certain age and you can go back, and that's even before my time was how he blew up. But only if you anybody anybody under 45 ain't gonna. They are quiet because that's the only team I've ever seen with the way they win, the way they accumulate wins, and they're right there with the best of the best, and people almost treating them all Casper and ghostly. No, no, he too corny. He just learning his identity. He's still finding himself, and it's like he been in a state of shock. And I understand with the loss of his mother and now with his wife, and he knows all about the racism, but no, no, he don't hit like that. But he'll get in before his brother does. Before you even ask about his brother, yeah, he'll get like 15 chairs to the door before his brother would get half of one. He's more authentic with it, but no. Yeah, they are a quiet team. They're a quiet, sleeping giant who they could fool around and be a problem. See, I remember I've seen Vikings teams in years past that won a lot of games and people got hyped. This is the quietest Vikings team I've ever seen that people been this quiet on. So looks like my poll question died. No one else is taking it. Sometimes it be that way. You want them under 24 points, you win the game. I think there was a point in time he would have been invited, and he's trying to act like he's still trying to get in, even though he's such a chameleon. Because he just sold the Mavericks to a known racist, and I don't know. Allegedly. I got it. Let me think. Mm. You can make a strong case for Andy Reid. They only lost one game so far. You can make a strong case. Um, Sean Payton may get consideration. I mean, I'm just saying because I'm gonna look at it. You know, I'm gonna think about it. He's in there though. Yeah. Well, two black quarterbacks, the success he's had, the fact that he did the commercials. All right, the fact he did the commercials with Mahomes. He got up there on the stage and took a Mahomes award home. That speaks volumes in itself. So, and he gets in. And he's in a win-win situation now because anything else he wins here on out just adds to legacy. And of course, his sons were trying to be down, and that didn't work. They pulled that rapper Rappaport, and it didn't work. So, if you heard about his son caught cases, and come on now, gotta get people to keep on talking. never really got the feeling. It was short term. Some liked him, some liked him, some did. Not strong though. But him wearing that star on his helmet is the reason why he got in. That's why he got in. Without that star, he'd be treated like Jimmy Garoppolo. And speaking of Jimmy Garoppolo, guess who's starting tomorrow for the Rams in their game? Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going with Ohio State, and not because Ted's here and we all cool, but I can't see Texas beating them. I can't see Texas beating them. They struggle with Arizona State, and Ryan Day is acting like, look, I was on the hot seat. I'm not messing this up. If he loses to Texas, though, the Boo Birds. It depends. If he loses, but how they would lose would be another story. I can tell you how to beat Ohio State. You got to find a way to slow them down from running, and you got to keep yourself close on your offense. If you can keep it close, you got a chance. 24 less points, you got a chance. But if you get in a high scoring matchup with them in a dogfight, they're gonna tear your behind up. So I like them to win. I'm not that I'm not that blown away with Texas. I think the powers that be would love for our state to run the table. That's what I think. That's what I think. Yeah, he's nice. I saw him get some nice sideline catches. I watched the highlights. You know, I knew you were gonna beat Oregon. I'm not hating. I just got through saying that y'all set to pretty much win it all. And you got very lucky. And you and I had the discussion the other day when everybody was on me about, and I said, no, they lost two games and they lost the number one seed. And I said if they were Bowling Green or some other team, their butt would have been 13th and they'd have been out of contention. I know the facts that the powers that be need y'all to be there, but y'all good enough to be there and you're good enough to win it all. So I'm not hating at all. How's that hating? Y'all gonna beat Texas up, and then y'all will probably play. I'd probably say if you play Notre Dame, no, that'd be crazy. Um, once upon a time, yeah, but she's kind of spotty now. It didn't make a difference. Oregon was just soft. They shouldn't have beaten them the first time, and I agree with Ted on that. And Ted will tell you the same thing. Because if that field goal kicker gets to come on the field, they beat Oregon, and Oregon probably falls to like 12th, and Oregon's not playing them this past week. And that month didn't have nothing to do with it. Oregon just wasn't battle tested. They had struggled their last game. If you watch their last game, they went into some unnecessary territories. They never really waxed teams. Sometimes they played around with teams. If you are a good coordinator, you're a good coach, you can fill in the blank of what this team is and isn't. Teams that are about their business, they finish your behind off. They don't play pity pat with you. When they're supposed to beat you by 15, they beat you by 12 to 15. They don't sit around and beat you by six. That's what got Oregon in trouble. And I can't remember who the last team they played before they played Ohio State, but that game was a lot closer than it should have been. You're interested to see what the crowd looks like in Dallas. Why is that? Yeah, they are. Because they're the kind of team they stat wise and like where's Joey Harriet? Remember Joey Harrington? Yeah, piano player came into the Detroit Lions and stunk. The quarterbacks they produce, a lot of stuff they produce is oversaturated. Oh, they travel great. They travel great. You know, he is. Now, if Texas was to beat Ohio State, you know, they gotta dominate on the ground and they gotta find a way to keep it again. I just can't. I don't see them as that kind of team. I just think Ohio State got another level to them. I could be wrong. They should. If I go by the talent on the paper, they should. They should. But Notre Dame is kind of like a Cinderella story this year. Old Franklin, Penn State, he sure would love to get his opportunity. And you're gonna get one black coach that's going to the final, so that's a historical in itself. So yeah, that's the only problem with Ohio State. If I thought that they were shooing, I say shooing, not 100% shooing. So that's the only problem I have with them. That's why I'm not sold on nobody. Nobody's blown me away in college football. Ain't no rumors. He called him soft. He can't do nothing with him. I don't know if he's gonna have the paces with Drake Maine, and it's gonna be tough. Well, as long as he up there dancing near Meek Mills, I guess he'll get the comeback. That's what he did. He got Jay Z alongside of him. He got all his usual buddies. Problem with the Patriots is that they need an overhaul that's gonna take about 3 or 5 more years, and it ain't gonna happen no time soon. It ain't gonna happen. So his won't be revoked. It just didn't work out. Mayo got a good mindset. It's just that I don't know if he's cut out to be the head coach of a team that you need a 3 or 4 year window. We live in a day and time where these cats don't get 3 or 4 years. Sometimes they get 3 or 4 months, and that's it. That's the sad coldness of the business. And ain't nobody that dumb to think New England's gonna turn around overnight. You can't be that dilly dumb. Yeah, it's called Amber Rose. He gets stuck on 20 something points, just like his age, and I seen the ineptness in him against the Bills. So he should have blew us out, just like Miami. And then how he lost that Detroit game, that's how I blame it on the coaching. All jokes aside, you got 6 turnovers against Detroit, and you still lose at home by a field goal. You ain't cut. You ain't cut like that, and that's the problem. You know, they win that division because it's a joke. It's a bachelor pad division. So he walks around with local flags on the pole, 6 flags, but you're not a threat for nobody. No one's scared of you. He got some talent, but he got a lot of work to do. They got to figure out how to put points on the board and be legit, and that's the problem. Because they look like they are basically window dressing to you, and he's better than that. I never invited him. And I think people loved his, what he was about to an extent, but they knew he was a good old boy back in the day. I mean, But believe it or not, that you mentioned him, right? He got a better chance at the cookout stand than Aaron Rodgers. For all his flaws, when people would clap for Brett Favre than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron's a city slicker. Bound to say something stupid and bound to catch a couple two pieces. Not by me. But there was a time when they liked him. There was a time. I don't know if it was the slick hair or the pseudo martial arts what he was doing. He had some love. I never got the hype though. I never got the hype. Mm. Old school. People of a certain time would, yeah. Pre Dallas Cowboys era, yeah. Dupree. But that's a long time ago. Um, he should. He should. If Pam Oliver's there, he'll definitely get in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. Oh yeah. Some will, some won't. That's a dicey call. Some will, some won't. That's dicey. Some will, some won't. Yeah, because there's some people that will, because they'll take a side against her and Angel Reese, and then there's some people that think that she is um, Penelope Pitstop, and they will have a problem with the Wonder Bird of her, and they'll have an issue with her. Some will, some won't. Ernie can get through, but again, that's a cat that people in the know. The people in the know. EJ gets through. He wasn't invited by me. Some did. I never really. First of all, I didn't really wasn't a big fan of that style of wrestling, and when I did watch it, of course, I saw him and he was big and all that. But he didn't really. I never really vibe with him. Some did though. Some did. He's got his fans. Some of them are through thick and thin. Some of them don't care. Some don't. We talk about cookouts. Some don't. If you want to live, you don't. If you don't want to live, you do. They've been to everybody's cookouts. Even when they weren't invited, they were there. So they made sure they've gone to everything and stuff that you ain't even seen. You don't invite them to eat. They come to the cookout, but they don't come to eat. At least what's not on the plate though. Mm, 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 mm. That's all I gotta say about them. The mama too. He played for a good team, and if it wasn't for the fact that Atlanta don't choke that last game, the guy that got benched would still be winning the division. What am I supposed to do with that? No one takes you serious. They got a top tier offense, but no one takes you serious. Still gonna be a one and doneer. No one takes you serious. No one is scared about him. No one takes you serious. You know, he's still mediocre. What you want? Is he a better quarterback than Josh Allen? No. Josh Allen had done this year in year out with one team. How many teams have Baker Mayfield been through? See, if you're gonna be, that's why that's what you don't get. If you watch me and Ted will testify, I'm not biased like that. I'll call out my team or my whoever I root for. I'll call out their flaws. And people up here want to camp off of some buster who, thank you, Zach, who about time. He only played for 50, 11 teams. Oh, do I need to do his career retrospect for you? Cleveland, the Rams. And listen, if you couldn't play with Sean McVay, he sucked. That was one of the best offensive minded coaches. I will give him that. He went to Carolina. Oh, Carolina and Cleveland always got a help wanted sign out. If you got an arm that works, we will hire you. If you can throw the ball, we will hire you. If you can just stand on the field and throw the ball at the same time, we will hire you. Come on now. I mean, how many teams he gonna play for? Oh yeah, he got a raw deal, all right. Just like Odell Beckham Jr.'s daddy did when he missed him over the field. Because remember his father called him out for missing passes. Oh yeah, and all those commercials he had in Cleveland. Yeah, he got a raw deal, all right. Yeah, he didn't get enough. Yeah, even LeBron started looking him south. No one took him. So he would if he'd have stayed in Cleveland, he would be on someone's couch right now. I'm not impressed. Nah, not me. Not me. He doing what he's supposed to have done. We're in a watered down era, or watered down quarterbacks, or watered down offenses. You should be throwing numbers because it's not like you're in a situation that you have to get by chilling by your bootstraps. I'm not impressed. I'm not buying it. And it's just a matter of time. Just like how he lost last year to Detroit doing a Baker type of interception, he'll do something stupid again because you'll see, he'll find a way to lose. No one takes Baker serious. Yeah, I know he got a new deal. Mm-hmm. No, he got no deal. Oh God, I gotta hear people brag about Baker Mayfield. This is sad. And the sad part for me is that the one day I hope that more people will come through and will commentate. I'm stuck with people up here trying to champion Baker Mayfield. This is just really a pile on. Not no more, because if he gonna act like he don't know Diddy and he's acting funny, uh, people of a certain age and a time would, a certain era would, a certain era. Only if you're of a certain era. Certain era would. Come on now, let's hit some more likes and get some people coming through. I see more people in. The poll numbers kind of low key today. As I said earlier, I'll probably try to come back Monday or Tuesday. Definitely do the end of the NFL season tape. It's not so much about y'all well rested, because y'all gotta come. Are you gonna be battle tested? That's gonna be the big question mark when we get to the postseason. That's the key. Yeah, but that's not the point. Y'all gotta figure out a way to play some defense and win games in the postseason. That tough talk is nice, but you gotta bring it come postseason time. I think you'll definitely win the first one, and you could be a problem as long as LaFleur doesn't get out coached. He got to start putting pen to paper, because that's the problem right there. Y'all in games, but you got to figure out how to make a statement. So, jury's out on y'all. You're a dangerous team, period, if you ain't playing the role of just being happy to be there. That's the only problem I had with the Green Bay. never really thought about her. And if I went by her corny show, she wouldn't get no invitation. I like her all right, but her show corny. Yeah. Well, it shouldn't even be on the air. I'm just being kind. Don't waste my time watching no corny show. Sure. People sitting around eating chips and dips and stuff, watching a little corny butt show, which I mean, y'all need to stop kidding yourselves. You don't go to Drew Barrymore's to get deep. Sorry. Yeah, that's the problem. Just okay. And see, when you say okay, that doesn't merit having a show. You better be bringing something, not just old cornball conversation with somebody trying to promote some old tired music or tired. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. People couldn't get enough of him because he had exactly what they like. They love it. Yeah, he was too. The ruckus, the racket, the ratchet. There you go. The ruckus, the racket, and the ratchet. Those two cats, and they benefited good. She was for a while. She was till she got all granola and got corny before she got corny. Back in the day, back in the day. Now, funny thing is, before she got into her whole liking Prince and everything, he was banging back in the day. But I don't know. She was definitely for the good would have came. Body would have came, not her though. But the body, you could leave the body. No sound. If you can't hear me, give me a one. If you can, give me a two. If you can't hear me, give me a one. Usually doesn't happen this early. The ones who can hear me, oh boy, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. That's two of them. Can you hear me now? I haven't heard from Ted yet. I haven't heard from Alan either. I heard nothing. I don't know. I ain't heard nothing. Trying to see what's up. See what we got. I haven't heard anybody give me a shout out. So give me a one if you can hear me. Give me a two if you can't. two saying no. And I haven't heard from anybody else. I'll keep it up. Still ain't heard nothing. See more people than came through. Somebody done peeped out something though. We gonna see. See what we got. See what I'm working with. Trying to think. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes and see if anything comes through. I'm gonna have to hit another reboot. Trying real hard to see if this thing comes alive. I'm trying to figure out where everybody went though. I have to do like a go and come back. I think I'm gonna stop. Well, let me see. What's up? Thank you, Sporting. Thank you. Appreciate you coming through. Can you hear me okay? Give me one if you can hear me. If you can, thank you, Sporting Page. If you can hear me, give me a one. Thank you. It's a bad look for both, but I mean, I think it backfired for Jimmy because you can't strong arm somebody, and if anything, it only makes you look bad. And as I've said before and again, I like Jimmy Butler. He's what I call a high second, low first tier player, but he's not a first tier player. He's not an alpha. So therefore, he doesn't have the kind of carte blanche to dictate nothing. He's an old 34, and he's actually walking around with the unfulfilled Kawhi Leonard resume. So how can you strong arm when you 34, almost 35? You an old man. There's one LeBron, but if you notice LeBron, Steph, James Harden, Durant all older. Cats is falling off. It's a new era coming along. You ain't gonna get no frontline extension pay. You may put some extensions in your hair. You ain't gonna get no extensions by nobody that's gonna mess with you. Ain't nobody gonna put the kind of money in for 2 or 3 years. They're gonna be a 1 year and done thing. They're gonna get you for a run, and then they're gonna be done with you. So he's at the end of his rope. He has to know that he ain't dumb, so time he's 37, to be end of his NBA career. Date who you want to date. Just don't get no feelings when someone takes you to the bank, and don't complain and cry, because you are your uniform no matter who you're with. And I've already said that. It ain't about who you're with, it's how you handle your business, because you still got to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you can get hoodwinked by skillet to skillet black, or you can get took by Pillsbury dough. Makes no difference. You can get hustled if you thinking that you get this pass, which you don't, because they're gonna play you either way. They don't care. You think who you want. Only thing I would tell you is this: just don't get played, and that's what cats end up doing. They get played. I'm not even with that. My mindset is whoever was your destiny is your destiny. You don't have to chase nothing if it's not meant to be. The ones that go chasing are the ones that end up with empty pockets, empty calories. There ain't no chasing. But a lot of these cats get caught out here because what they went for didn't go for them. So, and it can backfire on you when you ain't ready. It can backfire. It ain't nothing nice. All right, now. Need some comments. Need some people to come on through. Let's see what we got. See what you're dealing with. Need some comments. Need someone to come on through. There was some good corner I'm talking about. You haven't really watched my channel. I talk about a lot of things on this channel if you watch it. It's about life itself. There's a lot of ups, downs, in betweens, ebbs and flows, and where you go and things you know. I always have good. I have a wide range of topics. Depends on what we are talking about. I do have three heads above, and I did have some likes. Fine, you whack too. And don't come back on here either, since I'm suck so bad. I don't buy no junk. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean about the junk you buy? And I did get 11 people to come through on the poll question, so it can't be that bad. Just kind of. Oh, Sanford and Son. You ever seen the TV show? That's what it is, a tribute to Sanford and Son. It's one of those trucker hats, and I had this hat for years. Lamont and Fred. Yeah. Good observation about the hat. I decided to rock the hat. Yeah. We buy sell junk. If you ever seen Sanford and Son, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How you doing today though? Yeah, there you go. Fred Sanford and Lamont. Yeah. It's an old school hat. I think I got this at Lids or something back. Oh God, I've had this hat for like 20 plus years. That's what's up. You having a good day so far? Anyway, so I admit today was kind of slow around here, but I still got double digits in the polls, and I got Cincinnati. I think Joe Burrows can do the thing. If you're Pittsburgh, you got to win this game because if you lose this game, you don't even if you made the playoffs, you're one and done, and you're stuck with nothing. Cincinnati is a dangerous team. They get in, even though they don't play no defense though. But Joe Burrows is the truth though. So I'm not impressed with the Steelers at all down the stretch. I give Mike Tomlin his due as a coach, but there's only so much a coach can will. You got to have the talent. That's a sad commentary when I think about the Steelers. uh, I don't know. Since he's, Joe Burrow's having a great year. I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. What I'm going to do is conclude this one, and I'm going to come back in about. I'm going to do a separate half hour because this one seems to kind of fade out. So I'll be right back. Give me about 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Peace. Appreciate it when it came through. Questions and answers. What's up? I'm coming back in 5 minutes. So be ready because this thing's going to go out as you know how it do. So I'll be back in 5.